Hey y'all, it's your boy. Hey y'all, it's your boy Cortez Mack, and I'm here today with my girl Lateefah. Lateefah, say what's up to the people.
Hey people, got my wine.
Look, she's feeling so good already. This is her all the time.
All the time. Yes sir, yes sir.
So, as you guys get to know me, by extension, y'all need to get to know the people that mean the most to me. So today, I'm sitting down with Lateefah to just kind of pick her brain for a little bit. Y'all are going to get to know some of the things that make her tick, some of the things that drive her. And from there, I'm going to give y'all some game on a new business venture that my girl Lateefah is starting that y'all want to jump in on the ground up. And I actually have products to show you tonight. Okay? All right, cool. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this. She is down in this wine. It's about to be gone.
Yeah.
What is your wine of choice? Let's start with that.
Anything sweet, cheap, and it'll get me drunk immediately. That's my go-to.
All right, so you're a red girl over white?
I'm a red girl, a white girl. I don't discriminate. It is the fall, so the red, but you know what? If it's gonna get me there, I'm gonna drink it.
It'll get drunk.
I sound like an alcoholic, don't I?
You don't. You sound like most of my audience, at least. I think they can relate. Y'all should have a drink in your hand right now. Raise that up, right?
I agree.
Every time, that's the drinking game for today's interview. Every time we laugh, y'all take a sip or take a shot, and let's see how long you last. All right.
I love it.
So, reasons that I really wanted to sit down and talk with you is because you have so many different identities that I think are so relevant to things going on right now. Mm-hmm. So in regards to just kind of like the social unrest and the racial injustice that has been exposed and hopefully is going to continue to be addressed in our nation, how do you feel as a black woman? Because we've seen, that be an important conversation to be held too, is that we need to protect our black women and do a better job of it. How do you feel about that?
As being a black woman, no, but I mean, it's all I know. It's my only identity. But I can say that as a black woman, I feel more of my minorityness, if that makes sense, being put on the front line, and I'm becoming more aware of it. Not to say that I never knew that I was a black woman or that I, whatever. I think now with social media, with having Gen Z children, I feel like I am more aware of the delicate balance of being a woman, but being a black woman, and how far back we are from our non-melanated and somewhat melanated sisters. I've become more aware of it, and even though I'm a woman of a certain age,
hashtag that is a trademark if I ever heard one. Woman of a certain age.
In this day and age, because in my 20s, 30s, social media wasn't really a big thing, and now that it is, it's almost putting it in our faces. Like, this is who you are, this is where you are, and what are you gonna do about it? So I feel more aware of the skin that I'm in and the the parts that I've been giving.
I understand.
So, yeah.
I like what you just said about social media, because a lot of people from other generations seem to look down on social media and talk about the pitfalls of it, and there are a lot. But when you think about it, there are some ways that it's brought about awareness and positive messages being pushed out at a rapid rate because of how people consume it. How have you I guess I could say, how have you directly impacted from social media?
So, I'm gonna be honest.
Positively.
Okay. Positively, it has brought a lot of awareness. It's opened up a lot of doors for creativity. And as a woman who is an actress and who studied the arts, I appreciate the avenue that social media has opened for unknown artists, for people that are trying to get out there, back in my day, you had to go through all these channels to put yourself out there. So I do like the fact that social media has opened up doors for people. I like the fact that social media has connected us to people that you may not have seen in years, or that you're not able to talk to on a regular basis, or relatives that you have, but unfortunately you can't see them as often as you would like. So I do feel
especially right now.
Right. Oh God, yes, especially right now. But I do feel like social media has definitely given us that platform, so that's a positive.
Okay. And we now go into acting, and I know y'all heard my girl say that she is an actress. She is an extraordinary actress. So let's talk about that. What got you into that realm? What made you decide that that is something that you wanted to do?
Okay, so I was born in the 70s, and
whoop, whoop.
I know. And growing up, I was always extremely shy. I know it's kind of hard to believe, but I was like very, very shy. Very, what's the word I want to say? I wasn't sure of myself, and I never really felt like I fit into anything. And my first time hearing about an audition was at Marie Archer Teasley Middle School in Cherokee County, and they had an audition. I don't even remember the name of the play, to be honest. But I just thought, let me just take a stab at this. And I went to an audition, and it was like something inside of me woke up. Like something buried deep within opened up. And from that moment, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
And so that was like, I was probably 12, somewhere around there. And so I did my first audition there. Great audition for a 12-year-old. Then when I went to high school, shout out to Columbia High School, class of 94. I know.
All my East Side babies, y'all know what's going on.
Absolutely. I was in mock trial. And so, when you grow up in a certain time frame, there's these expectations that you have to do this, this, and this. So I thought I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
So I did mock trial, and I really liked it. But when I got to college, University of Georgia, go Dogs,
Ooh.
I realized that I don't really like this law. I like the acting of it. I enjoy the pretending to be a lawyer, pretending to be a plaintiff or whatever. And that's what pushed me into theater.
I loved it.
Yep.
So with theater, it's different than film.
Correct.
How would you compare the two, and why did you gravitate more to? I mean, of course, you had the experience with theater to start, but did you ever want to go into film?
Not really.
No.
I did some film classes, but of course, back when I was in college, things were not as, I don't know, technologically driven.
Right.
But I did do a film class, and I didn't like it. I felt awkward and weird. But theater allowed me to be freer and allowed me not to say nothing against film. Film is amazing. But for Lateefah, I felt more comfortable on stage. And even, let me backtrack. I think one of the reasons why I even considered or entertained film was because the money. It's quick media. Like, you put something on camera, people see it quicker than them buying a ticket and coming to see you on stage. So I kind of went through that phase where I was like, well, maybe I want to be a famous film star. But as I got older, I realized
I thought you were when I booked this. Wait a minute. Bitch, I'm about to go.
Oops, sorry. My bad. But I feel like there's a lot of, I'm sorry, y'all. My husband is in the background. He don't know no better.
Whole lot of gang shit. You already know. Cortez on TV. No gang shit. No gang shit.
But no, I just realized that my real love was on stage. And I would not be against doing film, but if I had to choose, what truly is passionate for me is theater.
Okay. And for people who don't, because there are some people who are not like us, who just don't get a rush out of doing things for others and performing, what would you compare that feeling to? I know you said it brings something out from deep within you. What would you say is a relatable experience for people who are not? And there it is. And there it is. But what kind of sex? Because sex
Like,
has different levels.
It does. It's that good, soul riveting, that sweaty, that breathing each other's breath type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? That this man is in my DNA right now.
I feel him in my name. We have the same name at this point. My name is Charles. And at that moment, Gerald and I became one.
That's how I feel about theater. Like, I've had some real soulful moments that are like on that cosmic sex feeling. Real talk. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not trying to.
That's awesome.
Make it a big. But for me, I can't speak for other people. I cannot speak for other actors out there. But for me, I've had moments that I was transformed, and to me, sex transforms you.
Imagine if that's how we all felt at work.
Oh, God.
Every day. If we just felt orgasmically transformed. How was work today? It was orgasmically transformed. I came 3 times at work today.
Yes. I'd go to work every day.
I would be there early.
I wouldn't even take time
I would stay
off.
late. I would never. PTO.
Yup, exactly.
Please. So we've gotten kind of the rest that you get out of it. So where are you now with that? Because I know that you have another career that you are committed to, that you've kind of invested in a lot. But acting, I think, is still something that you are passionate about. Would you agree?
I agree. Absolutely.
So where are you with that now? How do you balance that with a career?
So for those of you who don't know, I am an educator, and I do love teaching because I think that brings a different side of me. And I think we're multifaceted. I think that to say that we're only good at one thing diminishes our humanity, and diminishes our many talents that God has given us. How I balance is I had to make a decision what was good for Lateefah. And although ideally I would love to make a living strictly on doing shows, I also am a little bit spoiled. You know, I grew up not always in the best situation. I grew up in poverty, and for me, it was important to have a home and to have stability for my children. And so I chose to go into a career that offered that stability. But I balanced it with doing shows and intentionally connecting myself with opportunities that I could still act and do theater and still have fun without it taking away from that stability.
Do you feel that it is something that if the opportunity presented itself now, would you go into it full-fledged? Film or theater? Absolutely.
If it was an opportunity where I could make the amount of revenue that I make as an educator, I probably would.
Okay. Yeah. That's the reality of it. Yeah. Pulling away from something but having the consistency and the reliability that you had before, that's just the dream. Yeah. That really is the dream.
Yeah. But at this point in my life and my age, I feel like I have to be realistic about my life. And I feel like, going back to social media, I feel like we are forced to feel like, well, I gotta live like this meme that came out, or I gotta be # living the dream. And what if my dream is to be, live in a nice house and have glasses of wine and entertain friends? Like, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
But I can still do the things that I enjoy and still feel fulfilled. I think that a lot of times we chase this proverbial belief that we have to be like whatever we see on social media in order to be happy. So
yeah, we ascribe to other people's happiness, but we don't even know if it makes them happy.
Absolutely.
Because they're probably putting it out there because they think it makes somebody else happy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Would you say that, because we talked about age a lot, or you brought it up a few times, would you say that at your age that you are now, are you fulfilled? Do you feel like you've accomplished kind of what you set out for yourself personally? Maybe not on the level of what you feel you should have compared to social media or to other people, but for yourself.
Yeah, I do. I think that to say that you're 100% where you want to be is basically saying I'm done with life.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
not
true.
done with life. There are things that I still want to accomplish.
So now let's move to family. So my girl has 2 beautiful daughters who I love so much. Shout out to Zaria. Shout out to Jordan. Hey y'all. I know you watching. Tell a friend to subscribe. So let's talk about that. How are those relationships and how do they factor into everything you're going on right now? I know, of course, they're important because you're a mom, but right now.
So I'm in a new phase of motherhood, and shout out to all my moms. Motherhood is a journey, and you know, my oldest daughter is 23. She lives on her own, and then my youngest is in college, and so they're both at different stages in their life, and I'm taking on this role of more as an advisor than you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, and it's not, there are mothers out there that do that, but me personally, I feel like it makes our relationship more fluid if I just kind of step back and say, okay, I'm gonna let y'all go out here and do whatever it is you do. You fall, you're gonna have to figure out how to make it work. And that's real difficult to do as a mother.
I wanted to ask you that.
So difficult to do as a mother.
How hard is that to let your child fail?
Extremely.
A lot of times letting them fail
Hard.
and learn from that.
Terrible, scary. It is a war against yourself because innately, as a parent, you want to always be there to catch your baby. You know, when you think about when your kids are learning how to ride a bike and they go off on you, the first thing you want to do is grab and like, oh, and then when they fall, you take off running, you pick them up, and you take them in the house and you clean off their wounds. And learning how to step back and let them clean up their own wounds is a very hard place to be, but it's a necessary place to be. Because everybody has to figure out how to be on their own. You know, at this point, my mom, and I'm so thankful that my mother is still here, but my mom doesn't walk me through every part of my life. Like, I had to figure things out. And my mother was a helicopter mom. And I think I had to learn how to kind of not be so much like her, but at the same time, kind of like her.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I think this is the hardest phase of being a mom.
Wow.
This is the hardest phase.
When they're out of the house.
When they're out of the house and they're no longer under your thumb and you watching them and making sure they make the right decisions and making sure nobody hurts them, and that's difficult. I'm sorry. It's hard.
That's because you're a great mom.
It's hard.
That's why you're getting there.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people that may be my age and even in that age of, I think you really feel it when you're 21. That's when I feel it, because I could drink, I could buy alcohol. You don't tell me what the da 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 da. What would you say to those people who kind of?
My hair back up. I'm sorry, y'all.
You are good. We are all family here. We are all family. So let's talk about this. If I had something, I'll be playing with it too. You see, I've been moving my hat. So let's talk about then with that, people who are kind of, they give their parents pushback for being in this phase, having to adjust, because I know I have a mom who,
I love your mother.
I love her too. Hey boo.
Hey Sandy.
So, but she still tries to do the helicopter thing, but she knows that, you know, that's just not where we at. Right. What would you say to people in that space, like to the me's out here?
To the youth. And we've had this conversation before, because I've known this man for a long time.
For a long time.
I've known you when you was in that new 20s, and you know your mom would be worried or whatever.
In a career, feeling myself.
You were feeling yourself, and it was hard for me because I was playing friend role, and I also know how she feel as a mom. And my advice to you would just be to allow her to, or not necessarily allow, but to understand there is an innate fear of losing a child before you. That is a fear that nobody, unless you've lost a child, can truly understand how painful and scary that is. And so a lot of times when our kids go out and do their thing and they're out in the streets and they're living their life because you're young and your parents are blowing your phone up and you're like, oh my God, I wish you would back the up. Put yourself in her position of understanding that if something happens to you, she dies. That is how deep it feels. And I know as a mom, like, you know, when I would call my daughter, and we have iPhones, and like if I text her and the message come back green, my heart's like, oh my God, where's she at? What's going on? She's in the trunk. You think rationally, why are you acting like that? Like, she's fine. Right. But you almost, like, biology takes over, and you almost don't even know how to get the better sense of yourself. Like, okay, calm down. Let's think about this. She's only here, or he's only there. But understanding that severe fear of losing your child, or someone deeply hurting your child, how gut-wrenching that is. Wow. And that is why it's like, just understand. Don't freak out. Don't like, oh, she get on my nerves. Because my mommy, oh my God.
Miss Addie did not get on your nerves.
Oh my God. Adelaide used to drive me insane. But when I became a mother, I totally get it. I got where she was. She still drive me crazy. Adelaide, you still be doing the most. But I get it. I totally get it.
It's come full circle. I think some of those things you have to experience to get. I think when I become a parent, if I become a parent, that I will get some of those things as well. Or at least I hope to.
Being a parent is bittersweet.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet. Oh, yeah. Like, I have friends and stuff that are not mothers, and I tell them there's parts of me that sometimes I love my children unconditionally. But there are days where I'm like, God, I wish I had that freedom to not worry about another person. To not always go, are they okay? Are they home? Are they safe?
Right.
That is something you don't have to think about when you don't have kids.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of just live your life. And sometimes I find that I'm jealous of that. I'm jealous of that freedom. Because being a mom, there's a level of fear and pain that goes with that. Not to dampen the mood.
No, the mood is never dampened, baby. We are always light and bright over here at Cortez Mac TV. Insightful.
Yes.
Sometimes we gotta work through the pain to get through. I don't know what the other word I was gonna think of was, but y'all, something good on the other side of that pain. It's a testimony.
Get through the clouds.
There's a testimony at the end of the test.
Amen.
Right? Well, okay. So, as we get to a stopping point for part 1 of this interview, let me ask you, as we get ready to segue into what you got popping off now, baby, where do you feel you are headed in terms of, you know, you got the mom role, you've got the wife role, you've got the actress role, you've got the educator role. What time is it now?
Lateefah time.
It's Lateefah time. She said the exact answer that I wanted, y'all. We be finishing each other's sentences. We be reading each other's minds, y'all. It is so crazy. So it's Lateefah time, and I want y'all to tune in to see exactly what Lateefah time entails next week with your boy Cortez Mac TV. If you want more content just like this, make sure that you subscribe so that you can get all of my content. Turn the
subscribe to my bestie.
Okay.
Subscribe.
Okay.
To him.
Okay.
It's amazing.
She can fight.
Yes, I'm from Decatur. I can fight.
So be ready. All right, y'all. It's Cortez Mac TV. We will see you back in this same spot on this same sofa with this same outfit next week.
Yep, because I don't have that many clothes.
It's Cortez. It's Cortez Mac TV. Let's go.
Bye.